The Champions Challenge is here in Clash Royale. There's the first part where the Mighty Miner launch party is happening. Everyone can play with absolutely no losses and get the rewards. And for the second part, to unlock this emote and all of the gold, of course, it is very important you don't lose because there's 3 losses and then you're out. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I want this emote no matter what. So obviously, if you have Pass Royale, you're gonna get it. But if you need a good deck because you don't have Pass Royale, you're worried you're gonna lose, definitely watch until the end of today's video. We have 3 fantastic decks. The nice part about this is every single one of these decks has a different playstyle. So if one deck doesn't work well for you and you take a big L, then try one of the other ones. You might be better with it. It's important to note that every single deck is going to have the brand new champion, the Mighty Miner. So all of these decks have some counters to him, and all of these decks can utilize him in fantastic ways. Do be sure to subscribe for more Clash Royale content. We got some absolute bangers lined up, and I hope you guys are having a great day. So let's get into every single deck today that we're going to showcase for the Mighty Miner Champion Challenge in Clash Royale. Boom! Deck number 1 is going to be this really strong Goblin Giant Mighty Miner deck with a Sparky in here. Now this one's really fun. Not only do you have some fantastic answers to the Mighty Miner, including Sparky. It's going to do some insane damage to it. Lightning and Snowball to obviously reset if he's on a tower. You can Guards to surround and absolutely destroy him. And then the Zappies will, of course, completely shut him down as well. Goblin Giant Sparky is a great combination. And with the Lightning and Mega Minion, you are all set in terms of air defense. Anything you might need while supporting your pushes. This deck is definitely ideal when you defend first and then counter push. You're going to get some awesome wins. I should also mention that every single one of these deck links is down below in the description. And while you're on your way down there, maybe toss a like on the video. That would be pretty cool. Either way, though, deck number 2 is going to be a completely different playstyle. Like I said, it's going to be the double barrel bait. You have the Log as the spell to chip towers down. You got the Inferno Tower to cook, the Dark Prince to slam, the Mighty Miner for some splash damage on defense. The Skeleton Army is a great counter to him as well, including the Inferno Tower. Dark Goblin's got some range. You got some decent air answers here. This deck is going to be one that's going to be really good for some of you guys, but other you guys, I can definitely see you not having success with this deck if you're not used to a bait style deck. Goblin Barrel and Skeleton Barrel are going to be your 2 ways of doing tower damage with this deck. It's a pretty solid deck. And finally, the P.E.K.K.A. Bridge spam with the Mighty Miner up in here. Basically, we toss in the Mighty Miner instead of the Battle Ram because this should work perfectly fine. If you know how to do a normal P.E.K.K.A. Bridge spam deck, then this one will absolutely be the version for you to use today. It's a really strong deck. Obviously, it's pretty much the same thing, except instead of that Battle Ram, you're going to have the Mighty Miner acting as an Inferno Dragon. Without further ado, we're going to get into replay number 1 with deck number 1. Let's get into it. For match number 1, we see the Hog Rider immediately, so we go with our Zappies. We're able to obviously stun that Hog Rider up. Not something you really want to see when you don't have any buildings in your deck, but the Zappies and Guards, of course, are going to be some decent answers to that Hog Rider. So now we go with the Sparky in the back. Oftentimes, playing slow, making sure you know what's going on is going to be the best thing you could do with this deck. The slow roll Goblin Giants the backs, the slow roll Sparkies in the back, going to be some of the best things you can do. So we see the minions in the back. We don't have arrows in this deck, so I was a little worried there. Then I remembered, you know what, let's just Goblin Giant this. The Goblin Giant and Snowball combo will be able to annihilate these minions and bats. They're pretty weak, obviously. The Goblins on the back of that Goblin Giant doing work. We see the new champion come down the Sparky. I thought almost splashed onto the tower. Obviously wasn't the case. This dude had a terrible deck, by the way. Hog Rider, no spells, Hog Rider, no buildings is not typically something you want to see. They decided to go with some arrows here. Obviously a pretty solid move. The minions come down, they're able to defend. But look at this, the ability. I forgot we did that. The ability to the opposite lane. A complete bait. He gets onto the tower and takes it. How did I forget that? Really solid play, and that kind of showcases the opponent wasting elixir there, as well as us getting big value out of our ability there. We got the tower down for free, basically, for just 2 elixir, I guess. Now we're going to keep up the good stuff. We go with the Sparky in the back, and they actually put on a ton of pressure here. You see the Hog Rider come in with the bats. Obviously pretty well played there. The Goblin Giant's coming down in front. We know that tower is going to go down, so that's obviously all fine and dandy. The Mega Minion moving in with the Sparky and Goblin Giant going to be fantastic. As you see here, the arrows come down. They aren't really able to do anything, and we take an easy tower there because they spent all of their elixir on that push, and they didn't even get too much out of it. So we get the big 3 crown for game number 1. You guys can see why this deck is so strong. Easy win. You absolutely love to see it. So let's get into replay number 2 with deck number 2. If you guys are wondering why the opponent's name is Didiots, that's because in the dev build, things are a little wacky, but we got the second deck here. Let's go with the Inferno Tower for this RG. Easy answers there. We take it down in the RG Zap Lightning combo, I believe this guy had. That was pretty intense when you were playing Inferno Tower. We were able to get it done, though. You'll see why. This deck is nuts. The Dark Prince is able to finish off that RG with just 1 bullet. The Dark Goblin unfortunately got hit by that Mega Minion, and that timing there was a little bit unlucky. Fisherman has to come down for the Dark Prince, though, because otherwise the Dark Prince would have sauced that tower. You see the opponent has got the Mighty Miner in hand. He's got cannon, he's got spear gobs. We go with some spear gobs. We go with our Mighty Miner here just to distract, and then we toss down the Goblin Barrel. I wanted to see what they had in terms of answers. We see both Mighty Miners on the playing field right now. Who's going to win it right here in this interaction? It looking like theirs is, simply because obviously ours was getting shot at by so many different things. We weren't able to get it done there. We do have the lead, or no, we don't have the lead in this one so far. We have to make sure we clean up that defense there. Mighty Miner coming in, we're able to go with the Skarmy. They're able to zap it. They do miss the zap spell a little bit, so they aren't going to be able to get a ton of value out of that anyways. We see the RG at 0. Really risky play, because now we obviously have plenty of Elixir and Inferno Tower back to kill it. Really easy defense there, guys. Now I know, you know what, let's make something out of this. Let's push. Probably could have pushed opposite lane and had better success, but instead we went the Dark Goblin here. Looking back at it, right, maybe we should have applied some pressure to the opposite lane. Either way, though, the Dark Prince connecting was huge. We knew they didn't have any ground tanks, or at least enough Elixir for some ground tanks, so we do a bunch of damage to that left side tower, and now we definitely have a good lead here. This one does come down to the wire for so many reasons. Obviously, they had perfect answers to our Inferno Tower. Once double Elixir hit, they were helped a lot by that. So the cannon came down for the Skeleton Barrel, a fantastic answer for that. 3 Elixir for 3 Elixir, good on them. The opponent here has got more Elixir than us, guys, so it's important that we play slow, make sure we know what's going on. We see the spam at the bridge. I was getting a little worried here. I wanted to see what they would do to this, because obviously we didn't really realize that they had Zap and Cycle, but I really wanted them to spend a lot more Elixir than we did. Obviously, I think that was worth it. They spent like 9 Elixir, and we spent I believe 7, so that was worth it. We see the Royal Giant come down. Since they spent so much Elixir defending all that stuff, they do still get the lightning down, and they do hit the Dark Prince. That was a fantastic lightning on their end, we can't lie. We now go with the Skarmy. They're setting up on defense. Instead of zapping and kind of overcommitting on offense there, they do make the good play of going with the cannon and stuff, because that way they're more easily able to defend stuff. Zap spell there was clutch. Dark Prince would have gotten way more damage if it didn't come down. Skeleton Barrel's able to get down, though, because they used the cannon beforehand. Their cycle is all out of whack, and now all we need is a little bit of damage here. It is definitely coming down to the wire. So you can see they're hovering over the lightning. They want to lightning this. They're able to get it down, and once again they hit the Dark Prince's shield. Pretty solid play there. The Mighty Miner completely kills that Dark Prince. Gets a lot of value, honestly. But now we're going to go with our double barrel. Really no easy way for them to stop this. You'll see what happens, though. The cannon comes down to block it. The zap comes down as well, and they do flawlessly defend it. So that's where this was a little bit tricky. If you do get their tower low, there's no guarantee you're going to be able to instantly take it, especially since the log doesn't do that much damage, obviously. We go with the Mighty Miner in the opposite lane, thinking that I could use the ability and then take the tower. Obviously, that's not the case. I tried using it. The Fisherman pulled them in, so that was all screwed up. Now, though, they're completely wasted on Elixir. They have nothing. I think they kind of just gave up, and that was it. They weren't able to hold on, guys. We barely get it done with the double barrel bait. It was a really strong deck. We definitely didn't play our best, but still, it was a W with deck number 2. Deck number 3, the P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam Mighty Miner combo. You guys are going to see this is the craziest game we had today. We played so bad this match. You're going to see this is the closest game I've seen in a while. Absolutely nuts. We see the Bats Skarmy at the bridge. Really aggressive play, and honestly, it kind of worked out. We didn't have anything that good in cycle, so the Mighty Miner was having to go right lane. We do go with the Ewas there. I figured he was low in Elixir because he went with all of that, and now he goes with the Golem in the back. Really not a smart play. The Mighty Miner is going to lock on tower and obviously take that whole thing, but kind of a smart play on the opponent's part, because look at this. Now we have to deal with a Night Witch Golem push, and we really don't have a whole lot to work with, right? They have quite a bit more Elixir on the playing field than we do right now, and all we have is 9 Elixir in our pocket and a dying Ewas. Ewas died. Now we have the P.E.K.K.A. We're going to see the Lumberjack and Bats all come in. We're going to use the Fireball on defense here. We waited for it to all clump up, and then we also want to go for our Zap Spell. Zap Spell is good, but the Night Witch literally crushes us. We have no Elixir, neither does the opponent, but they really do a good job of applying pressure there, and you can see we are absolutely struggling right now. Those Bats are doing way more damage than they should have. The Night Witch getting way more value than she should have. Literally, our entire King Tower pretty much falling, guys. A horrible start to this match. I really thought this was going to be a massive L. We didn't play it very smart on our end. Obviously, we got overcommitted with that Ewas and stuff. Really not the best played here. They go with another Golem in the back, immediately letting me know basically, hey, they're going for the 3 crown. So I freaked out. Don't do this. Don't do this at all, because I mean, we probably could have used the Mighty Miner on defense alongside an Electro Wizard and been just fine, but instead we used him on offense here. He's obviously going to just die to the tower and Bats. Really not ideal. We're going to go with our Magic Archer in a place where we can snipe these Bats, and Golem right hugging that tower. Pretty good placement, honestly. We go with the Ewas as well, and the Ewas does not end up helping us with the golem, and neither does the magic archer. I completely misplaced everything, obviously. The golem is now right next to our king tower. We have hardly any HP. We go with the zap spell, guys. So much is on our king tower. We have to go with a panic fireball. All the stuff is on his king tower too, and with just barely a little bit of HP, we hold on somehow and get the 3 crown. That was crazy. Like I said, I hope none of you guys have games that close, because I was about to have a heart attack, but either way, we get the win. You know how we do it. So best of luck in the challenge, everybody. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Master Diddy-san, out.